Hello and welcome to another free code session. My name is Jason Bach, and I'm going to finally start moving more towards the rocks world and doing the work necessary to get mocks generated at compile time. I've been thinking about a lot of things in my head and just doing some design work in my head and writing things down. And then I've been working on just a what if kind of idea. I'll show you that in a moment, which I think is somewhat encouraging. Of course, the hard work is actually getting it to work. So in any event, I want to clear up one issue that I have in inline mapping, and then I'll show you the idea that I have with rocks and start actually building some the projects necessary to get this to work. So in any event, this issue that you see up here on the screen is something that I was always a little annoyed about, and I couldn't figure out a better way to get around it. And that is, it seemed like if you were referencing the project that had the generators in it, then you couldn't see any types within it. You just couldn't reference them. And for whatever reason, as you can see here in the comment, I was probably doing this because I read this from a previous article and I just copied and pasted the code, because that's what you do. You read something on the internet and you go, oh, this worked for somebody, so you copied and pasted it. Well, if you do reference output assembly equals false, I don't know the details of what that's actually doing, but apparently if you remove that, and I did a little test on this to make sure, then you can actually reference types within that project directly. So what I'm going to do is just simply get rid of the metadata project and just have one project, because that seems to make the most sense. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do here, is a little bit of a cleanup. So we are in 16. So we're going to go into Git here. Let's actually close all this out. Let's go to Git. We'll do a new branch. What did I say it was? 16, I think. Remove metadata project. Okay, so create. Yeah, these things that pop up on the bottom here, I'm getting a little, personally I find them annoying, and I keep I'm telling them just to stop, So of course, by the time this video actually makes it, it's probably never going to, change somebody's mind, but I personally find that a little annoying. I don't find any benefit in that, so I'm not sure why they even have that in there. But in any event, okay, so we have this, we've got that. We only have a couple of, we got a fair amount of things in here. That's fine. So we want to copy this. We put that in there. Cool. Then we want to take this, put that there. And we want to take that, delete it. Now, does that actually delete it? No, it doesn't. Get rid of it. Okay. So now we have to do some things here, though, where we don't want to say, we just want to make it this to that, match case, find look in current project. Okay, so we want to say, wait, what did you just do? I said current. Okay. Don't show the message. I don't want to see that. All right, so now we've got a whole bunch of, that's good. Don't need that anymore. Go away. That's good. That's good. All right, now what did I break? It's always the question. Well, it's not also what I broke, but it's also the fact that I got changed some project references. So I believe here we now take that off. In the integration tests, we take this off. In the performance tests, we also do that as well. And in the test host, I don't think it matters. In the tests, I don't think it matters either. Okay, so now it's a matter of looking at and saying, yeah, just clearing out all the errors, which is going to take not a lot of time. Okay. This should be pretty quick, which is good. We can take that all off, and it doesn't even need that anymore. Okay. Of course, then what are you barking at down here? Well, you know, there you go. Now you're all happy. Okay, now let's build it again. And we're succeeded. Let's run all tests. Oh, God. Oh, no. Okay, well, they ran, but that was very scary for a second because it gave that unexpected error thing that I was sometimes seeing before. Could not find project with GUID that. Why would you even care about seeing a project with... That's... Okay, so what all broke here? I bet I started looking at the... Yeah, it has all this using inline metadata, which it doesn't need anymore. Actually, what it does need is that. Okay, so what we're going to do is... Nope. We're going to do this. H. Don't always show the message. Jeez. Just do it. Okay. You're going to give me unexpected error again? Oh, now they all pass. Okay, good. That was the only thing. That was an easy one. Good. So we can, I think, simply commit this now. So this will now get rid of one of the projects that we don't need. Is there anything else I can do to clean this up? I don't think so, but it's kind of nice now that all this is contained within one project, as it really should be. Okay, so we're going to say commit number 16, removed the metadata project, moving its types. I think it's because, yeah, I think so. I don't know. I'm starting to just lose that. What it's 222. What are they? 2 inline mapping. Commit all. Do that. And come back when I finally have this done. Okay, I'm back from doing all the Git things. I do want to make sure, though, that I've closed out that issue, which I should have. There we go. So that's gone. So we're back to six issues, and pretty much the ones that are there. Let me go look at the milestones again for 1.0. What did I really want to... Well, support records I can't do because this issue is still floating around, and it's a little disconcerting because like it was 12 days ago and nothing's happened to it, and I can't do anything about this. I guess the only thing is to look and see if I come up here and I say manage NuGet packages, is to see if there's possibly an update. There is. I'm just kind of curious what happens if I select these. That was Microsoft Code Analysis Common, depends on system reflection metadata, was not found. Well, that's not good. Okay. Let's just run all tests and see if it still all works. And I should have made a branch, but I don't even know if this is going to solve the problem that I just mentioned. So they should still all pass, but then I'm going to undo one of the tests to see if it actually helps. Okay, that's all good. So let's go into tests here and generate structs and then generate with records. Okay, so let's actually put the code in here for this because at least we'll be prepared. You know what? Okay. I am going to do the right thing, which is, no, you know what? No, no. I said no, like I'm going to do the wrong thing. I'm just going to change this because I realize I should have just done this in the first place. Okay. Which is this. And record, init. And I believe just to be complete. Okay, why are you barking? Oh, for God's sakes. Go away. Just let me do my thing. I believe you can. Oh my God. Stop it. Just stop it. Yeah, you can say set on a record. That's okay. I actually haven't done a dive into records themselves. I believe they just are classes. I think there was this whole debate on should records automatically be immutable or mutable, and it seems like nothing's stopping you from saying var source is equal to new source. And then source.id is equal to a. And that's just fine. Well, yeah, okay, fine. You can do that. But I can still say source ID is equal to B. And that's just fine. So nothing's stopping you from changing it, right? Oh, whatever. You know, fine. So that's a little... I was hoping records would be a little bit more tight on immutability, and unfortunately they're not. In any event, though, that's not really what we're concerned about. We're concerned about this. So if I take this off and now I say run the test, does it still fail? Well, it might. It's going to fail because of other reasons, but yeah. It's going to fail because of other reasons. Yeah, you're still not able to resolve that. So if I go to my test host here and I change this to record, we'll just make them inits. And I make that a record. And I do that as an init. And I say, and then I say that. Yeah, it's still not working. So, which is not entirely oh God. Of course, it would help if I spelled it right, wouldn't it? And it would help if I was actually doing this correctly, wouldn't it? I don't think it's going to matter. Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's not able to still find out. Still cannot find a record declaration syntax. Oh, stop. Sorry. Build. Configuration manager. Okay, I said build. And if I remember right, of course, because, you know, yeah, it still thinks it's a property declaration syntax, which makes no sense to me at all. It gets completely just messed up. I don't know why it thinks it's a property declaration syntax. So that's not fixed, even by updating to a preview version of 3.8. That still doesn't get fixed. It's still not fixed. And honest, I would think that that's something they have to address, because this is unless I'm missing something, this is just a flat out bug. And it's kind of disconcerting, because why isn't this working? And the only thing it ever got changed to is the area. And that was done like a week and a half ago. Is anybody even looking into this? Because I don't understand how this is going to actually, what is it now? It's early September when I'm recording this. And .NET is the 5.0 release is like 2 months away. I'm sure they have other things they're looking at, but this to me is a major bug. And again, I'm thoroughly, I can completely accept that I am doing something wrong. And if I am, I hope somebody's going to show me what I'm actually doing. Well, that's wrong too. You don't need that. But again, that's not going to matter. Yeah, it still comes back with you don't have any, you don't have any types, specifically records. I'm going to make this as bare bones as I possibly can. Okay. There. That should work. That should work. And if I change these all to like class, that's the thing. If I suddenly change this to class and class, well, then we suddenly have code generation, because it's actually finding type declarations. And I am, like I said, I am almost positive if I do record declaration syntax, I do that, and then I do a, no. Oh, I know what I'm doing wrong. Okay, sorry. No. What? Oh, I'm not. God. What? Okay, thank you. Jeez, I was like, I'm navigating to definition. Why is it not navigating to definition? It's a type declaration syntax. It is a type declaration syntax. That navigate has to be much faster, because it has no implementation. Yeah, it does. It definitely does. So, yeah, I do want to show at least a little, not a demo of Rocks, but this took a little bit longer than expected, but I do want to show where I'm going to be going officially in future episodes, because I think I'm also getting to the point where I am just not fully diving into, let me get this back to that, and then we're going to just say commit and updated package references. And I still have to, though, here, I still have to ignore this, even though I put in, well, okay, let me think about this for a second. If it would pass, records are classes, so they could be null. So I think we'd still see all that. We'd see all that. We'd see all that. So I think that's actually correct. Okay, but we still want to see ignore here. Okay. Because, yeah, oh my God. Oh my God. I had to, wow. Holy cow. How are all these tests passing? Because that's all wrong. Wait. H. Okay. Because I'm supposed to have 2 there. You know, I've been doing this all the time. I noticed in some of the issues that I have on GitHub, I was forgetting that second parentheses like all the time. And how annoying is that? So yeah, in fact, I want to just see, let's just see if I have any more instances of this. And am I looking? File types, no. Entire solution. No, okay, so I finally got rid of it. All right, so let's run this again. They all do and they pass. Okay, and now if I run this one last time, it still don't work. No worky. So we are at the mercy of figuring out what the bug is from the other side. Okay, updated package references and added record test still ignored. I don't push it. Okay, so that's on master. I didn't make a branch, whatever. I should have, but I didn't. Okay, so the last thing I want to just show you quick is my idea around rocks, which I currently have in a, because one day I just started playing stuff, so I had a console app for. So it's like, well, what would it take to actually do this? And so none of this is referencing rocks. It's just kind of the ideas that are in rocks. And I'm like trying to think off the top of my head, what would it take? So if you look at, like I was looking at a previous test here, and like we have rock create, you do an expectation, you make, you target, and you verify. Well, I don't have a verify here, but I'm like, what would it look like if I did it in the new world? And honestly, the intent is that it shouldn't look any different. At least I don't think it should. Though obviously, this is handle. This is now actually saying do it with a 3. Okay, so I started going, well, what actually needs to be happening here? So there will be the class rock with a create, which is, I was like, I don't even remember what I'm calling it. I think it's iRock with a generic type of T. And I was like, well, is that really true? And I don't even know if I need like a setups or just setups. You know, I'm like, why am I even doing this as a interface? Doesn't matter. The point is, when you do a create, what you're actually returning is something that you're trying to say, these are all the expectations I'm trying to set up for an arrange. Okay. Maybe I call this iArrangements because iArrangement or arrangement of expectations because, you know, I got to have big words like that. The point is all this is there is to capture all the things that you're going to be doing. Like if I have this interface here, then this is all what's going to be generated. So I have to look for this. I still have to, the big thing I haven't checked yet is in a source generator, if you can look for what are essentially method invocations. So right here, this is an invocation expression, right? And so what I do need to do is say, okay, if I have an invocation expression, is it a create call from my rock class? And again, this is going to be nice because it's all within one assembly. So I should be able to, you know, use name of and all these things, whatever. But if it's this, okay, then the type in here is what I need to generate all of this stuff with. Okay. So what you're seeing here is a static class that has to be in the same namespace as the type that you're trying to mock. And then do it just takes that setup thing and then has this argument. Now this is actually going to be my arg class. It'll be an arg of int type. Okay. And I also have to be like the return values here are going to be, if it's a void, I think I have like a method adornments or something like that. I don't remember, because you might want to say, what does it actually return, or do a callback or whatever. I can't remember all the things there, but essentially something like this. Okay. So when you're calling this, right now I was just doing something really simple. I was like, put the name of the method, colon, the name of the argument, and then its value, just stupid things like that. Because again, I was just mostly trying to get my head around what is it that I actually need to generate. It doesn't match what's really in rocks, doesn't matter. Okay. And then make, well, actually, this is your mock type. Okay. And so when you call do it, it's going to look to see, did it actually match the expectation, and off you go. And this stuff essentially is the thing I'm already creating, though I have to change how I'm creating it. But this is known stuff. The make here too, if for whatever reason what you're passing in is a class that isn't sealed, you can actually mock it, and it has constructor arguments, I can actually generate a make here that you would pass in whatever arguments you need to pass in. This is going to generate to taking this thing here, the expectations, because it needs to know what those are, but then also the other arguments that would be in the constructor, because it needs them. It's going to be descending from them, so it needs to pass those into the base. And I think I already handle that, if I remember right. I have to be able to, because you may be passing me in a type and that has a constructor with arguments, and that's it. So I have to have a way to have you pass those in, but I think it relies upon activator, create instance, and passing in the arguments or something like that, where this isn't going to do that. It's going to be all strongly typed. It's all going to, just work, which is really encouraging. Again, I've got to actually do this. So now at some point I'm going to have to now go into rocks, which I already have a branch, which I realize, and go in and change all this. I again think that this is going to, my thought is this is going to reduce the amount of code significantly. I could be wrong on this, but if you look at like this, there's a lot of these methods, and where's the functions? I remember that one. Again, I cleaned this up at one point to be fairly clean, but again, we have all these different methods. All those are going to go away. I'm not going to have tests that have all these arguments, because that's just not needed. I don't know why I have an editor config and tests. That's pretty bizarre. Anyway, so yeah, I think there's going to be like this, the task is going to go away. There's going to be no more need of that. Performance, I think I'm just, to be completely honest, I might just can all of this to some degree and end up, well, I think what I'm going to do is create a project called rocks.generators. So I keep it separate from what I currently have, even though I know it's in a different branch. And then once I'm happy with that, then just destroy everything that I have and change those then into rocks and rocks tests. And I think that's all I need. Again, there's going to be no need to have the ability to say, do I generate the mocks at runtime, or do I generate them as a compile time task? That where's the task? There should be. Did that go away? Oh no, I'm sorry. At some point I pulled it into, that's right, because a long time ago it had to be in its own separate project for whatever reason. And then I would realize I could pull it into rocks. So I got rid of it, but I can actually get rid of that. That's not going to be necessary anymore. So yeah, there's also the construction, there's the in-memory persistence. Those are all going to go away because there's only going to be one way to do it, and that's through source generators. So I think this is going to be much cleaner, but I would not be surprised if the next 6 to 10 episodes are all around me struggling to make rocks work, to make it work again and make it work better, which will be fun because I started this, I'll end on this note. I started rocks. I think I mentioned this once before. I started it in 2015, and it mostly just as what can I do with the compiler API beyond just analyzers and refactorings? What can I do to do something interesting with it? And I just thought, hey, you can generate mock types with it. Why not just generate mocks with generated code? The funny thing is that rocks is actually very compiler API independent. The only thing it uses from the compiler API is the ability to emit a type at runtime. That's it, because all the rest of it is just building snippets of strings that happen to be C# code using the reflection API. So now it's going to completely change such that it's all going to be based on the compiler API. So yeah, it's different from that perspective. There's also things I've thought about too, with what happens if somebody deletes a type that I generated a mock for. How do I know this? Because is that generated code then going to be part of the compilation process? And if it is, it's going to have a bunch of errors because the type doesn't exist anymore. This has to be something that's in source generators to some degree, in that, like, while you're building code, maybe, I pinged somebody on this, and the intent is that the IDE is supposed to be more interactive, so that you get a bit, like you saw with InlineMapping, the actual extension method would actually be there in IntelliSense so you could see it. But I think also that, and I could be wrong on this, but I'm guessing that when you actually say, I really want to build it and I really want to run it, that it regenerates everything. Maybe. There has to be some way for you to say, if I was generating code based off of X and X is no longer there, how do I know this? How am I able to ungenerate code? Because that's going to have errors in it. I know there's got to be something there to do this. I just don't know what the real plan is to handle that. So that's one thing I'm going to be interested in diving in with this. And the same thing is with inline mapping. I mean, if you generate the source or the destination type, or you take away one of the properties, what happens with the generated code? Actually, okay, because I'm a curious fellow. I'm a curious guy. What? Yeah. Do I still have it up? No, I don't, but I'm just curious. Where would I do this? I think here, I just make these classes. Okay. No, I don't want to do this here. No, that's the wrong spot. I want to do it in integration tests. Okay. So let's just say I had public string name. Yeah, it's set. And we're going to have the same thing down here. Whoops. Okay. And yes, you want to be nullable because reasons. Okay. Great. I compile. All this should be good. Because the generated code, I'm not referencing it here though. Okay. Now, if I take this away, it should still work. And it does. And I'm guessing, although I can't see it, I'm guessing that there's only one map in there, and that's between those two properties. So whatever happened in this case is Yeah, nothing failed because, oh, I was looking at the, oh, I was looking at the wrong thing. Though it didn't matter. It really shouldn't have mattered. You couldn't have run that wow. What, how did that even do what I thought it was supposed to do? Okay. But in any event, I think at some point it's got to rerun that and then make sure that it's got the latest before it really compiles. So I'm wondering if, though that would also seem kind of heavyweight when you compile, because then you'd have to redo everything. Though if you think about it, that's really what you have to do in your code anyway. If I have 100 files in my project and I just go into one and I suddenly say, remove this property and then build, well, the compiler and or the IDE, they're all working to figure out, hey, you now have referenced this property in other places. This is wrong. The compiler just has to do that as well. So it has to rerun everything at compile time, I think. Anyway, I'm babbling. This video is getting awfully long, and that wasn't my intent. So the point is, I really start moving into the Rocks world and getting it to work, because I'm pretty excited about having a mocking library be all source generator based. And as a final note, there's a class in .NET called Dispatch Proxy, which is essentially a way for you to do proxy objects. I wrote dynamic proxies at .NET 1.0 years ago, and then updated it for generics and haven't done anything with it since. And there's also Castle Proxy, whatever, and you'd use IL to generate it, blah, blah, blah. Well, then Dispatch Proxy showed up on the scenes to do it. I'm sitting there going, with source generators, why do we even need a dispatch proxy class? Why not generate like what I'm doing here with Rocks and do it all so that the proxy is compile time? And then you could probably get a lot more safety and everything else, so to speak. Because, yeah, I'm not going to get into it. My time is well gone, but that's another idea I have around. Why don't you just make proxy classes that are source generator based? Why do it all at runtime? So I think source generators have a lot of potential, even as somewhat limited as they are. So I'm done for now. The day job is calling, and I'm heading into a 3-day weekend after today is done. So I may do more of this on the weekend and have some fun with it. So thank you all for watching. Leave comments and questions below. See you in the next episode.